of the bell. Mind calm, body at ease, breathing quiet, sentiment benevolent. Dharma friends, sitting still in vital silence, wanting nothing, we practice eco-Buddhism together. The sound of the temple bell booms for all to cease from conflict. May the way of Buddha usher in the dawn of non-violent global village forever. Here is the after sound of the bell. Thunder of silence, light after Dharma rain. Om Amorga Vairochana Maha Mudra Mani Padma Jivala Pravartaya. Please stand, and as you stand, please smooth out your mat, puff up your cushion, in respect and gratitude for their support of your practice. Good morning. We will now take refuge in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, first in Sino-Korean, in keeping with our tradition, and then in English. So for the Sino-Korean, even if you do not speak Sino-Korean, please throw your voice in once you understand the way the chant goes. This is a sound practice. Chi And now in English, please repeat after me. I go for refuge to the Buddha.
I go for refuge to the Buddha.
And resolve with all beings.
And resolve with all beings.
I will cultivate a heart of enlightenment.
I will cultivate a heart of enlightenment.
And realize the great way.
And realize the great way.
I go for refuge to the Dharma.
I go for refuge to the Dharma.
And resolve with all beings.
And resolve with all beings.
I will penetrate the teachings.
I will penetrate the teachings.
And uncover oceans of wisdom.
And uncover oceans of wisdom.
I go for refuge to the Sangha.
I go for refuge to the Sangha.
And resolve with all beings.
And resolve with all beings.
I will seek peace and harmony for the many.
I will seek peace and harmony for the many.
And transform this world into Buddha lands unimpeded.
And transform this world into Buddha lands unimpeded.
On this 31st day of August in the year 2025, we acknowledge that the land that our temple buildings stand on has been the home of native peoples, the Potawatomi, the Ottawa, and the Ojibwe, the Council of the Three Fires, and also of Black Americans. We know that this neighborhood used to be a historically Black neighborhood during times of legally sanctioned racial segregation and oppression. For our own awakening and for the awakening of all life, may the benevolent energies of our meditation, chanting, and full presence here at this service this morning extend to all beings on this planet throughout time and space. May there be deepening of our interbeing. May peace prevail and wars cease. Let us sit in meditation once again, briefly. Good morning, precious Sangha. Please join me in bringing some movement back into our bodies. Please follow along with these simple stretches. Being aware of your breathing, in and out, in and out. Good morning, precious Sangha.
Good morning.
My name is Tong San. I'm one of the teachers here at the temple. Welcome in from all those 10 directions on this beautiful, beautiful late summer, early fall day. I hope that you will have some time to be outside today and breathing, really breathing this beautiful air and feeling the sun on your skin. A couple weeks ago, Ma'um talked to us about the Diamond Sutra. She said that she was reading it again and feeling it open up in ways that she hadn't felt it open up before. She said, it's hard and obscure and important, and its central teaching is about generosity. The sutra answers the question of how someone on the path should move through life. And it answers that question by talking about giving freely, unattached to self or the gift or the act of giving. I'm going to move this up a little bit. I can feel that sometimes it isn't picking things up. Is it? Okay. Okay. Well, then I won't move it. I'll leave it just the way it is. So Ma'um talked with us about what it teaches. Today, I'd like to give you a taste of how it teaches and an idea of why that's important. If nothing else, I hope I can communicate one person's love for this crazy text. And I do adore my Dharma brother, Magamak, talks about Honeyball Sutras. This is my Honeyball Sutra. So I want to give you a taste of how it teaches and an idea of why that's important. And if nothing else, I hope I can communicate one person's love for this crazy text and maybe inspire you to check it out for yourself. The Diamond Sutra is one of the great Mahayana sutras. It comes from India, probably composed around the 2nd century of the Common Era. It is in the same family as the much shorter Heart Sutra, which is also very beautiful. It is forbidding at first. For one, it's not short. The Heart Sutra is. For two, it makes no sense at all. It contradicts itself. It contradicts itself over and over. It contradicts itself on purpose. For example, this is a quote. Beings are said by the Tathagata, the Buddha, beings are said by the Buddha to be no beings. That is why they are called beings. Say what? In the world we move in every day, you can't make arguments like this, much less teach. So what are we supposed to do with it? For me, the answer has been memorize it. During lockdown, I memorized the whole thing. It took me about an hour and 20 minutes to recite. I'm working on, and then I set it aside, other things happened. Now I'm working on it again and falling in love with it all over again. As I started memorizing it, I came to love it. Passages that seemed just impossibly obscure the first time through opened up. they flowered into a dialogue with my own experience. And that experience, too, has opened up in conversation with the diamond. I have to be another way to be with the diamond. And I've found that I really like that other way of being. So let me explain by not explaining, and that is a very Diamond Sutra thing to say. I want to invite you in to the opening sections of the sutra. Here's how it begins. Thus have I heard. At one time, the Buddha dwelt at Shravasti in the Jeta Grove, in the garden of Anathapindika, together with a large gathering of monks consisting of 1,250 monks, and with many bodhisattvas, great beings. One morning, the Buddha rose, put on his cloak, took his bowl, and entered the great city of Shravasti to collect alms. When he had eaten and returned from his round, the Buddha put away his cloak and bowl, washed his feet, and sat down in the place prepared for him, crossing his legs, holding his body upright, and mindfully fixing his attention in front of him. Nothing difficult here. So far, so ordinary. But notice the details. The care with which the Buddha prepares for the day. He put away his cloak and bowl and washed his feet. There's a tenderness about this. Then many monks approached to where the Lord was, saluted his feet with their heads, thrice walked around him to the right, and sat down to one side. And the Venerable Subhuti came to that assembly and sat down. Then he rose from his seat, uncovered one shoulder, placed his right knee on the ground, bent forth his folded hands to the Lord, and spoke. Again, there's that tender detail about what Subhuti does with his body. He has a question, and he prepares himself and us for that question by a ritual summoning of wonder. He's going to say, "It is wonderful, O Lord. It is exceedingly wonderful, O well gone, how much the fearless bodhisattvas have been helped with the greatest help by the Tathagata, the Arhat, the fully enlightened one." The repetitions help the wonder sink in, right? He's helped with the greatest help. In a passage I didn't recite to you, he's favored with the highest favor. And who is he? The Tathagata, the Arhat, the fully enlightened one. And here's the question. How then, O Lord, should one who has set out on the bodhisattva path stand? How progress? How control their thoughts? In other words, how should we be? How should we move through life? And how should we use our mind? After these words, the Lord said, "Well said, Subhuti." So here comes the teaching. We're about to leave the world of the everyday and the ordinary. Buckle your mental seatbelts, because here it comes. Here, Subhuti, one who has set out on the bodhisattva path should produce a thought in this manner. As many beings as there may be in the universe of beings, comprehended under the term being, egg-born, born of a womb, moisture-born, ethereally born, with or without form, with or without perception, with neither perception nor non-perception, as far as any conceivable form of being can be conceived. All of them must I lead into nirvana, into that realm of nirvana that leaves nothing behind. Say, what? I'm gonna do what? The diamond is not about giving you information. It wants to do something to you. It wants to open you up to a reality very, very different from the put your clothes on and have breakfast reality, even though it recognizes the importance of that reality. It's also saying that these two realities are not opposed to one another, that they're inseparable. And it's doing that right here by being impossibly precise and logically impossible at the very same time. I'm going to say that again. It's doing that by being impossibly precise and logically impossible at the same time. And by being that way over and over again. Here, right, so far, I'm about maybe a quarter of the way through this memorization. This is my favorite part so far. As many beings as there may be in the universe of being, comprehended under the term being, egg-born, born of a womb, moisture-born, ethereally born, as many conceivable form of being as can be conceived. All of them must I lead into nirvana. That realm of nirvana that leaves nothing behind. Zen Buddhists say things like this a lot. We're going to say it at the end of service in the Bodhisattva vows. All beings, one body, I vow to liberate. But the diamond is not content with all beings, one body. It's easy to say all beings and not pay attention to what that actually means. The diamond wants to make sure that you feel what that actually means, what all beings might mean, step by step. It's an almost insane precision, and I love it. How many beings are we talking about here? Can you conceive? Egg-born, born of a womb, moisture-born, ethereally born. With or without form, with perception, without perception, right? And you think this is mind-blowing? Well, pay attention to what we're supposed to do with all those beings. All of these must I lead into nirvana, into that realm of nirvana that leaves nothing behind. Yeah, you think your mind has been blown? There's a little bit more ordinary mind in there that has to be disposed of. That has to be blown. All of these must I lead into nirvana, into that realm of nirvana that leaves nothing behind. And yet, here it comes, and yet, although innumerable beings have been led into nirvana, no being at all has been led into nirvana. And why? Good question. And that is the next line in the sutra. And why? And the answer is no answer at all. If in a bodhisattva, the notion of a being should take place, they could not be called a bodhi being. That answer is no answer. At least from an everyday point of view, that's no answer at all, right? That doesn't help. And in fact, so the question comes again. And the next line in the sutra is, and why? And here's the answer. One is not to be called a Bodhi being, in whom the notion of a being or a self should take place, or the notion of a living soul or of a person. It's the same answer, but more so. The Buddha is seeing your confusion and raising it. It's not just no notion of a being, but in case you didn't get it, it's no notion of a self. Cross that one out. No notion of a living soul. Cross that one out. No notion of a person. So the diamond starts where we are. In daily life. In the walk barefoot and your feet get dirty, so you better wash your feet reality. But its very first teaching dissolves the ground right out from under those freshly washed feet. That's because what the diamond wants to teach us is another way of being. It wants to take us to another reality. To reality with a capital R. But to go there, we have to put down our usual ways of thinking. So again and again, the diamond puts us in places where the logical, transactional, instrumental mind that we're so fond of is no help at all. But still, it's set in a very real place on a very ordinary day. The Buddha gets dressed, goes and asks for food, eats breakfast, washes his feet and crosses his legs just like we do. It's relentlessly logical and analytical in its method. My favorite bit right now, and I love this so much I can hardly even stand it, is the way it specifies all beings, and I love this so much it makes me cry. The way it specifies all beings as those with perception, without perception, and with neither perception nor non-perception. It is so analytical and so logical in the way it's destroying that, our privilege of that kind of thinking. So there's a crazy precision about this. And it's relentlessly logical. But the teaching itself is insistently illogical. Both at the same time. So for the moment, the line that I'd like you to really take away and put in your pocket is the and yet line. After we vowed that we're going to save all beings, the and yet goes like this. And yet, although all beings have been led into nirvana, no being at all has been led into nirvana. It's both at the same time. So it's not saying that our everyday reality is crap and we should just focus on reality with a capital R. It's saying both of those things are true. Right? Innumerable beings, there are innumerable beings, but there are no innumerable beings at the same time. So it wants to open us up to a reality that is at once very, very different from the put your clothes on and have breakfast reality, and inseparable from it. So where it's pointing is toward what Soto Zen teacher Domyo Burke calls reality with a capital R, transcendent reality. And it's reminding us that that reality with a capital R is not separable from everyday reality with a little r. That is profound. And I am really, really grateful for that. So, returning to the question that Subhuti asks at the very beginning that sets this off, how should one who has set out in the Bodhisattva path stand? How progress? How control their thoughts? I'm not good at controlling my thoughts, but I'm working on it. And this is how, I think, see with reality with a capital R in the everyday. Set usual daily mind down, but don't lose it. Loosen my grip on what I'm so sure of. Be a different way for a while and see what happens. Thank you for going into the diamond with me for this morning. Thoughts that are no thoughts? Comments that are no comments? Questions that are no questions? Yes.
Why is it called the Diamond Sutra?
The traditional way of understanding it is that the diamond is diamonds are very hard, so it's the Diamond Sutra. The diamond that cuts through delusion is the traditional way of understanding the title. Yes.
It seems like a lot of what it's saying is to
Oh, we should be sending the mic around. Oh.
Just trying to think of how to say this. To surrender the self, you lose, the concept of the self entirely, and there was no self to begin with, something like that. I don't know.
That certainly is one takeaway from what the Buddha teaches in that sutra. But it's also true that to move in the world, you have a name.
Yeah.
You're a person. I recognize you. I've seen you before. So it is at once true that I recognize you. You are a person with the name, and I have seen you before. And it is also true that there is no being there. At least that's what the diamond says. I think. There's a question in the back. Let's go.
All beings or innumerable beings have arrived and no beings have.
Please ask the question into the mic.
Could you first please repeat that phrase?
And yet, although innumerable beings have been led into nirvana, no being at all has been led into nirvana.
Thank you. So what I was wondering is, or what I was thinking, the first half of that is from the perspective of normal everyday life, I guess smaller reality. From that point of view, innumerable beings have made it there. The second half is from the perspective of within nirvana, kind of looking out backwards, saying, well, here there are no beings. That's all dissolved. So once they arrived, they're no beings, kind of. So kind of the two opposite perspectives of it. Now, is that how a lot of the kind of seeming contradictions are in the Diamond Sutra?
Well, they're both true. At least what the diamond seems to be saying is that both are true at the same time. So it is at once true that there are innumerable beings, and it is also true that there are no beings at all. So yeah, I would say that what the first half of the sentence is from the perspective of our ordinary life, and that's already hard enough. It's like, I can't possibly save all beings, can I? But I'm just about to vow that I will. But it is from the perspective of our ordinary life. But then if we're thinking from the perspective of transcendent reality, whatever that is, no being at all. Does that make not sense?
I think so. Thank you.
This reminds me of a saying that I've heard. It goes, simple surface truths, the opposite are false, but with fundamental truths, the opposite is also true. And it kind of feels like, with all its contradictions, it's trying to unravel something like a ball of yarn, like pulling threads through and trying to straighten them out. And me and my coworkers sometimes talk about the veil, is what we call it. It's kind of the reality with the capital R, as you've been saying. And like glimpsing the veil and glimpsing past the veil and taking what you see and using that in your reality with the lowercase r life. And I think that it's nice to see them entwined and nice and powerful to use your knowledge of what's beyond and through in the reality where you wash your feet after walking in dirt and cross your legs. And I also had a thought about the saying, all beings, one body. To me, it makes more sense to say all bodies, one being. Like, almost like that one tree that's got a big root system, but it's a whole like forest of stems, but being one single tree. But I'm not totally sure. I don't know. I think I would like to have the thought behind all beings, one body, instead of the inverse.
Thank you. Thank you. These are problems and truths that we live with and return to, like our meditation practice, over and over and over again. And the more we return to them, the more juice we get out of them, I find. Thank you.
Thank you for the teaching this morning. My teacher once told me that it's not in words outside of scripture, looking to one's nature, pointing directly to one's mind. He said, young child, everything is seen in the direct practice of meditation. This is not an intellectual teaching, it's spiritual. I don't seek this through the mind, I allow it to flow through the heart. And it makes a lot of sense. There is no self, there never was. When I look in the mirror before my practice, before I came to the Buddhist temple, I would see an image. The deluded mind called it the self. When my eyes looked away from the mirror, it seen images and reflections, and the same deluded mind called it the other. But the awakened mind knows there is no self or other. It just is. Thank you.
Amen, as they say.
I was thinking I've taken a few philosophy, or I've taken a philosophy class, and I'm taking an ethics class right now. And I was just thinking, this seems completely contradictory to Western philosophy, which is all about putting everything into words and coming to logical conclusions.
Mhm.
But I almost find it more appealing because of that.
One of the root things that Aristotle taught was what we call the principle of non-contradiction. And the diamond is not Aristotelian. There's a question right behind you.
Thank you, Tong-san, for your teaching. I was just reminded, a teacher named Dosho Port came and spoke here a number of years ago, gave a seminar on great doubt. And the line that stuck with me from that was, if it was not impossible, we would not need to vow.
So much of what the diamond says and how it says it reminds me of something that Dogen was credited with having said. Had to look it up because I wanted to get it exact, because all this self, no self, that can get hard.
Oh, really?
Yeah. so let's get it down. I want to get it down exactly as he said it. So it's he's credited with having said, to study the Buddha way is to study the self. To study the self is to forget the self. And to forget the self is to be actualized by the 10,000 things, or it says here myriad things, but that's what he said, the 10,000 things. And it sort of has the same flavor of like this whole idea of individualism is at once both very, very true and fully absurd at the same time. Because I'm also reminded of things that I often have to do with my children, especially when they were really, really young. Like my daughter, she's really into building block towers. And it's sort of the idea that this thing is a tower. This thing I have built. First of all, there are no doors, there are no windows. What are you talking about, little girl? That is not a tower. That is a stack of blocks.
But it's a tower.
Exactly. When you push past that, it's like, well, at some point, like, how many blocks does it take to make a tower? Like, is it 2? Like, is that a tower? No, come on, Dad, it's not a tower. Is it 3? Not quite yet. Is it 4? A little higher. Is it 5? This is a tower. When? How? What? Why is it 5? Like, what is it about the 5th block that makes what is still not a tower into a tower? But the thing behind that exercise is, how many other things in our daily life do we stack up and make things out of just like that?
Mm-hmm.
It's the idea that the self is one such thing that we just stack stuff up and okay, now this is this here, now it's a self. Really? When? Are you sure? And like, that's the diamond. The diamond is trying to let the Ouroboros of creation in our mind eat itself. And so we can live in the world that remains.
Lovely. One of the teachings about what we call self is that it's a composite of the 5 what are called the 5 skandhas, and the 5 skandhas. The usual translation of that Sanskrit word is the heaps. So it's form, perception, ideas. I'm not remembering them all right now, but so the heaps are the tower. So yeah, thank you. Yours was much better than, I was just piggybacking on you. So the diamond is not terribly long. You can find translations of it all over the place. You know, I recommend that you play with it if you want to. We are probably at time for announcements.
So there's a lot of announcements here, so hang on to your cushions. Who is here for the first time, please? Oh, you're so very welcome here. Thank you for coming. We look forward to seeing you again. Public services are every Sunday at 10 o'clock. Please also join us for Together Action every Saturday from 3 to 5. This work practice is aimed at helping us maintain our temple buildings and grounds. We consider hands-on work a vital aspect of our Buddhist practice. As we care for the temple, we care for ourselves. Ulambana Day will be held Sunday, September 7th at 11:45 a.m. This special ceremony of peace and reconciliation honors family and friends who have passed away, brings closure to relationships that have ended, and helps us recover from loss. For details, please talk to one of our teachers who are wearing gray. Some advanced preparation is required, so please sign up on the clipboard if you wish to participate. The temple offers meditation classes on a regular basis. The course includes simple stretching exercises, work with the breath, meditation postures, concentration, and mindfulness practice. Everything you need to know to support your own home practice. It's a 5 Thursday evening class, and it begins September 11th. An overnight version of the class will also be offered September 12th and the 13th. Our first family service of the year will be offered Sunday, September 14th at 9:45 a.m. Family service is offered the second Sunday of every month during the school year. It begins with a short whole Sangha service that is followed by breakout sessions for the children, a mindful parenting discussion for parents, and meditation practice for those who wish to remain in the Buddha Hall. The theme for the September service is Buddha Sangha. Okay, there's another page. It's not as long. Yoga with David Black will resume September 16th. The class meets weekly on Tuesday from 6:30 to 8:30. Looking ahead to October, we will be hosting a special speaker, Ben Connolly, on Wednesday, October 8th from 7 to 8:30 right here in the Buddha Hall. He is a well-known teacher in the Soto Zen tradition and will be discussing interdependence, social engagement, and abundance based on his new book called Inside the Flower Garland Sutra, Huyan Buddhism and the Modern World. Please pick up an informational flyer in the foyer and sign up to attend. The temple holds online Sangha service every Sunday night from 7 to 8:30. The service joins with practitioners from our other temples in Toronto, Ann Arbor, New York, as well as those living at a distance. The Zoom link is located on our website, www.zenbuddhisttemple.org. Next to the last announcement is the temple is entirely supported by your generous donations. There's a fishbowl in the foyer for monetary donations as well as an electronic card service. Now, this one's not on this form, but I took somebody's shoes last week, and I'm so sorry about that. But then
There's a precept about it.
I know there is. There is. I just feel terrible about it. And I walked away with them only as far as the Sangha house, but when I got back here after I realized what I'd done, My shoes were gone. But then I found out somebody else's shoes were gone. So whoever the person who had the bigger feet didn't want my shoes because they're small. So it's like a three-way thing. So if anybody knows where the shoes are, I would love to have mine back. Mine are blue and they're Birkenstock rubber ones. So there you go. I don't care about anyone else. They can have their shoes or not.
All beings, one set of feet.
Yes, there you go. Okay, that's all. Thank you.
Recovery driver will meet at noon today in the historic food hall, the big yellow house right.
Question, will you be resuming the 4 o'clock services on the, I think you did it twice a month.
No.
Thank you. Then let us, please stand, straighten out your mat and cushion. Will we move the mats and cushions, or will we leave them?
We'll start that next.
Okay. We will leave the mats and cushions where they are, but please fluff up your, you know what I'm trying to say. Fluff your cushion and straighten your mat. And then please join me in the 4 great vows. All beings, one body.
All beings, one body.
I vow to liberate.
I vow to liberate.
Blind passions, one root.
Blind passions, one root.
I vow to terminate.
I vow to terminate.
Dharma gates, one mind.
Dharma gates, one mind.
I vow to penetrate.
I vow to penetrate.
The great way of Buddha.
The great way of Buddha.
I vow to realize.
I vow to realize.
And if it were not impossible, we would not vow.
If it were not impossible, we would not vow.